Although not as popular as Disney, Pixar, or Illumination, Blue Sky is a company well known for their animated features. Love 'em or hate 'em, Blue Sky has given us such classics as the Ice Age franchise, the Peanuts movie, and the 2 Rio movies. With Blue Sky bought out by Disney and having a sort of mini-resurgence with the new Ice Age project premiering on Disney+, it's finally time to talk about them. One thing Disney is known for and many films try to replicate is an interesting villain to bounce a story off of. But which of these dastardly devils are the ones with the most damning past and which aren't nearly as nefarious? What's going on, guys? This is Brad with Wicked Binge, and this is Blue Sky Villains, evil to most evil. One big ol' rule before we get going: only one villain per film unless the villain is part of a duo and both need to be talked about. This is only really eligible for one entrant, but it's still necessary to point out. So without any further ado, we get to talking about the baddest of the bad and the evilest boys around. This is the bad to evil. Ranking together, Cretaceous and Maelstrom from Ice Age 2 The Meltdown is first. They are ancient creatures that were trapped in ice during the flash freeze of the Ice Age. During the meltdown, they thaw out and subsequently hunt down Manny and the gang. They don't do much except hunt for food after being frozen for decades, if not longer. We can't fault them for trying to eat, even if they were after our main cast. Next is Rudy from Ice Age 3, Dawn of the Dinosaurs. Rudy is an albino dinosaur who scratched out Buck's eye and then tried to eat him.
Sadly, yes, but I lived.
Unlike Cretaceous and Maelstrom, he does try to ambush and kill Buck and company more for revenge than for food, although he does seem to be focusing more on instinct than pure evil intention. However, no matter how you slice it, Rudy's pure instincts do seem to take over for the most part. By the end, he tries to ambush and kill the whole group, including the newborn Peaches, but once again, it seems to be mostly out of instinct for food than pure evil, hence why we can't rank him lower. Next is El Primero from Ferdinand. Primero is an egotistical bullfighter who shows little beyond trying to boost his reputation in preparation of his final bullfight. He tries to use his status to stop anyone from using Moreno's bull farm, because none of his bulls impressed him. He eventually attempts to fight Ferdinand because he sees him as the best bull.
That one is the best bull.
He's consistently shown to view his own status as more important than what happens to the bulls and Moreno. But by the end, he ends up retiring with dignity and honor while letting Ferdinand live his peaceful life. He turns himself around, and all in all is one of the better villains, simply because he's mostly just a prick and not really evil. Next is Sour Kangaroo from Blue Sky's version of Horton Hears a Who. Sour Kangaroo, who we'll be referring to as Jane from now on because that is her name, albeit not her most common alias, Jane is one of the many adult characters who are against Horton during his quest to reveal the microscopic Whos.
No one lives on this.
This gets to the point that she attempts to blow away the speck the Whos are on, which would lead to them all dying. This was because she didn't know for sure they existed and ended up not believing in them. But when evidence arrived that they existed, she turned herself around and reformed. She ranks here because, unlike many other villains, she does turn herself around. But she can't rank too much higher because she did attempt genocide. Next is Gavin from Ice Age Collision Course. Gavin is a Dakota raptor and the father of Roger and Gertie, who steals eggs for a living, mostly to feed his children. Initially, Gavin doesn't seem like that bad of a guy, mostly just trying to feed his family and survive, but we quickly learn that he's a pretty bad guy. Gavin learns of the asteroid on a collision course with Earth and that Buck is trying to stop it, so he decides to stop Buck. He believes that due to their ability to fly, they would survive the crash, while the mammals would not. He's trying to kill the herd to stop them from saving all life, specifically so he can rule the Earth after the crash.
That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
By the end of the film, it's revealed that they wouldn't survive, so Gavin has a change of heart and helps the herd stop the meteor. This change of heart is what stops him from falling lower, because he's one of the few to change their ways, even willing to sacrifice himself for his kid, earning him this spot. Next is Soto from Ice Age. Soto was the leader of a pack of saber-toothed tigers that included Diego. When his family and cubs are killed by humans, he starts hunting them down for his own perverted version of justice. He starts hunting humans for revenge, even deciding to hunt down the young children of these humans. Soto tries everything he can to get and deal with the baby as well as Manny and Sid. He then tries to kill not only the sloth and mammoth, but Diego as well after his betrayal. Soto is sort of justified in his hatred of humans, and he's honestly not that bad compared to some of the others on this list. Next is Nigel from the first Rio film. Nigel was once the animal star of many shows, but was replaced, which led to him hating any pretty birds. His petty hatred leads to him wanting to harm any of the so-called pretty birds that get in his way, including Blue and Jewel. Nigel was ready to kill Jewel, and only stopped because Marcel wanted her back alive. And by the end of the film, he mocks Jewel when her wing is injured and is fully ready to kill Blue in any way possible. Nigel's seething hatred leads to his assumed death, although he does reappear in Rio 2. He seeks vengeance and wants to destroy the blue macaws that caused him so much pain, leading to his team-up with Big Boss. Nigel is a being of pure hatred and pettiness. The only reason he can't rank lower is because he doesn't have the highest of body counts. Next is Big Boss from Rio 2. Big Boss was the unnamed boss of the illegal loggers throughout the film, who's trying to eliminate Linda and Tullio on their bird-watching expedition. He then tries to kill them while they are tied to a tree that they're about to cut down. He shows no remorse and will kill just about anything that gets in his way, including Blue and Jewel, two members of a rare and endangered species. Big Boss is a human threat that cares for nothing but the dollars he makes when in his logging camp. Next is Mandrake from Epic. Mandrake leads the Bogans, a race of bat-like humanoids who are arch-enemies to the Leafmen. He attempts to slaughter them all and take their kingdom, wanting to slay Ronan especially, because of what he did to Dagda, his son. Unlike other villains on this list, he cares about his family, as he vows revenge on Ronan for harming his son. He plans to kill the Queen of the Forest so they can destroy the forest and everything inside of it. His plan to decimate the forest to take it over is a bit short-sighted, but the fact that he cares enough for his son to get revenge stops him from falling lower, but only barely. The Bronze Medal of Evil goes to Killian from Spies in Disguise. Killian is a terrorist who has crossed paths with Special Agent Lance Sterling on multiple occasions. During one of Lance's previous missions, he had killed all of Killian's crew and maimed him, causing him to get cybernetic implants. Killian plans to use a powerful drone to destroy Lance and take over the world, subsequently trying to frame him for things he didn't do. He gets really close to finishing his plan and defeating Lance and his agency, but by the end of the film, he has some remorse. However, even his remorse isn't enough to rank him higher, because while he may not have a massive kill count, he was willing to rack it up for his plans, which ranks him here on our list. The Silver Medal of Evil goes to Captain Gut from Ice Age Continental Drift. Gut is a large orangutan and leader of a pirate crew that Manny and the gang meet. Gut is disrespectful, manipulative, egomaniacal, as he's only ever shown to care about himself. Even when he's betrayed by Shira, he only cares about what that does to him and not the rest of the crew. He only cares about his crew and the people around him if he feels he can use them to his advantage, and only after Manny steals them. He's murderous, sadistic, and greedy, and shows no concern for anyone but himself. He's actively evil, and unlike other characters on this list, doesn't have a real reason for what he does. The Gold Medal of Evil goes to Madame Gasket from the film Robots. Gasket is the queen of the chop shop and the mother of the secondary villain, Phineas T. Ratchet. She's abusive to her husband and her workers, but surprisingly civil with her son. She is, however, highly manipulative of her son, being the one behind most of his decisions when it comes to running Big Weld's company. She hates anyone who doesn't upgrade at every opportunity and has no qualms with destroying them. She chops up any unupgraded bot and turns them into spare parts, having a massive body count that is pretty much unmatched on this list. But don't leave just yet, we've got some center medals to hand out. Taking our Darwin medal is Gavin, who believes that because he has wings, he'll survive a meteor crashing to Earth. Our Wrath medal belongs to Mandrake, who wants to destroy a forest to rule said forest. No surprise, the owners of the Gluttony medal are Cretaceous and Maelstrom, who are just working on hungry instincts the whole movie. Taking the Greed medal is Big Boss, who cares only about the money from the logging and nothing else. And finally, the Pride medal goes to El Primero, who is always so high and mighty because of his status.